everybody, welcome back to G Views. I'm a 21-year-old cisgendered white girl who loves talking about movies and TV. You'll guess it's another collab because every time I do a collab, I always film my intro and outro on a webcam because I cannot be bothered to put on makeup and look nice or presentable for the camera. But yeah, I'm doing a GV on Tenet, one of the new movies, the only movie coming out. Sorry, that's my dog barking. And I'm going to be filming this with Carmen, who was on my Star Wars G-View. It's a really good G-View, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Hello everybody, welcome back to G-Views. I am here with Carmen!
Hi G-Viewers, I'm back.
Yeah.
Did you miss me? I missed you.
So for today's G-View, we're actually talking about Tenet, the Christopher Nolan... Tenet. Am I saying it wrong? Why am I saying Tenet? It just sounds better. Tenet. But they don't say Tenet. They say, like, Tenet. I swear that he said, like, the American says that.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But maybe
I'm in Spanish, so it's Tenet.
Oh, right.
Yeah, when you say Tenet.
Written and directed by Christopher Nolan. It came out 2020. It's like the first film which like was in the cinema for the past 4 and a bit months, like new film. And it was really like refreshing to go to the cinema, I must say, to like sit there and watch like a big Hollywood movie. It was like, oh, nostalgia. It was nice. And so we watched this movie. I watched it a week ago. Carmen watched it a bit longer than that. And we're basically going to be spoilering the whole movie. So if you haven't seen Tenet, I recommend watching it just because it's a very unique experience.
Yes.
Must say.
But I have to say, if you haven't watched it and you watch this video, you won't understand anything like we do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, that is very true. We have a lot of questions, and we probably will not get those answered today, but we thought like this is a perfect movie to discuss and talk about theories and things we liked, things we didn't necessarily enjoy with the movie. And yeah, so let's get on with the G-View. So Carmen, what did you think Tenet was about?
Okay, so I first watched a bit of the trailer and it was the car race. So I thought the movie was about cars and agents. So when I went to the cinema, I saw a lot of guys there and I messaged my friends because I was there by myself and I said, what's this movie about? Because there was no girls there. So I was like, what am I going into? Yeah, so I thought it was about cars and car racing, like Fast and Furious, kind of. But then when I saw all of the time traveling and I didn't understand anything. So I whispered to my friend, what's going on? He said, I don't know. So we all were very, very lost. When I finished the movie, like the last battle, because I was in summer cinema. How do you call that? A summer movie? No, a summer theater. Sorry, summer cinema.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a ceiling, so you're sitting there and you have the screen.
Oh.
So in the last battle, I was looking at the stars because I didn't know what was going on. So when the movie ended, my friends and I were discussing what was going on, and between all of us, we kind of built the storyline and what was going on. So that was pretty fun, like, because I was like, oh, I didn't get that. So the other friend said, oh yeah, that happened because of this.
Yeah.
And then the day after, I watched this short clip about the behind the scenes, and they explained how they did all of like the fights. It was like they learned the moves inverted instead of like reverting it. So I appreciated more the movie after I watched it rather than while watching it because I was very lost.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty accurate perception of what I thought it was too, except I didn't think it was going to be Fast and Furious. Hey, because they didn't mention family in the trailer. Family.
Respect.
Respect the family. Vin Diesel was not there.
Oh, I miss him.
I miss him riding a helicopter while we're at Universal Studios. Yeah, I honestly didn't really know what this movie was. I just knew that the whole thing was like things are backwards, and like the shot in the car where like they're driving past this car, and then it flips, and then it unflips, and it goes back to normal, and it's like whoa! I was like that was kind of sick, but I had no idea what it was. And honestly, watching the movie, I had very similar questions that Carmen has. It was very confusing, but at the same time, because it was so confusing, I was like really focused on the movie. Like sometimes when I'm watching a movie, I kind of like daze off because either it's boring or other things. But this, I was like, you need to focus. You can't go to the toilet. I didn't go to the toilet. Usually in a movie, I go to the toilet at least twice because I always get a big old slurpy thing. And I was like, I need to stay and watch it. So I was like really focused on it. And then afterwards, talking about it, I appreciated the movie a lot more, knowing that they the choreography was like backwards, and that was so sick. It wasn't just like a camera, filming everything normal and then them reversing it. It was like the actors actually had to learn how to punch back. It was really
yes,
like walking backwards and like talking. It was like really crazy. So I really appreciated the craft of like how different and like new and like how this movie brought something different to the cinema. We have John David Washington, who is the protagonist.
I didn't know his name was the protagonist. I didn't know that. So I thought they were all the time like the protagonist. I was like, calm down, okay, we get it. You're the protagonist. I didn't know it was
so many times.
I know.
Wait, is that actually his name? Does he not have a name?
No, his name is the protagonist.
No, I thought he had a name. I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad for forgetting his name. Yeah, like in the movie, he and this older woman, they talk a few times, and every single time he's like, I'm the protagonist. This is my story. And I was like, this is so cringy. Like, why does he keep saying he's protagonist? But now it's
his name.
That was kind of dumb. He was really good. I sometimes felt like, I don't know, like he's very charismatic, and like I thought he brought like comedy, and I thought he was really good. But sometimes I felt like he was in one movie and other people were in another movie. I don't know, like I don't know, like if that was just me, but sometimes he felt like out of the movie.
I don't know because I was very distracted by the dubbing because his voice was very weird. It didn't really suit him, so I didn't really enjoy his voice. I don't know. So maybe because of dubbing, I kind of missed that part.
Robert Pattinson's awesome in this movie, playing
I love him.
Neil.
I love Robert Pattinson.
We love Robert Pattinson. Ever since Twilight.
You need to watch G-Views Twilight.
It will be linked in the description box. He was really good, but very confusing. For me, it was like he just pops out of nowhere and we're just like, oh yeah, Neil's here. And I was like, what the hell?
Okay, because there's a theory. Here, I come with my theory.
Okay.
That he is Max. Max is Kat's son.
Yeah.
The kid. Because apparently people say that Neil is kind of the shortened name of Maximilian. So, Maximilian, Neil.
What the fuck? How is that shortened? That is nowhere near.
No, shortened. Sorry. Max is the shortened version of Maximilian.
Yeah.
And then you cut the ending of Maximilian and it's Lien, but if in backwards, it's Neil.
What the fuck? No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. according to my sources.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I'll show you later. Yes. So that's what people say. Apparently, he was raised by the protagonist because he gets very close to Kat throughout the movie. So they grew up, like, he grows up with him, and he's recruited by him in the future to help prevent the apparently Cold War / 3 World War that I don't know, I don't understand when they mention that in any moment. So I don't know who the war is against who. Okay, so so Neil knows the protagonist for a long time, to the point that when they first meet, he knows what he drinks and that he doesn't drink while doing missions. So that proves that they have met in the future. So when at the end Neil dies, he says, "This is the beginning for you and the ending for me." So that means that the protagonist is gonna get older, and in that process of growing up, he's gonna be with Neil and show him what he has to do in the past. I don't know. That's what the sources say. And apparently there's a scene where Neil is drinking vodka with tonic and lime, and Kat, his mom, is also drinking that. So, evidence.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, but kind of, it doesn't make sense in regards to, like, age, because, like, the protagonist and Neil are, like, the same age, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't mind because Neil is coming from the future and he's going to the past.
Right. Oh. Right. Okay. okay. I can kind of see that. Except Max is Max is British. Neil's British.
Also, Neil speaks Estonian, and Max is the son of the British woman and the Estonian guy.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
That's actually quite that probably is the truth, honestly. I mean, that is a very, like, I don't think a regular audience member would think that Max was Neil, but hearing your argument about it, I like it.
Write down in comments what you think.
Yeah, I'm now a Maximilian is Neil. Right, so going back to Max. So Max is the son of Kat, who is the wife of the Estonian guy played by, oh my god, who's
Kenneth
Branagh, who he has such a thick accent that I find it really difficult to understand his dialogue because it was very muffly and I didn't understand what he was saying half the time, which is a complaint. I was like, if the audience can't understand your dialogue, then that's a problem. And basically, when he was like at the end of the Cold War, so I think 1989, and he found this like plutonium, which sounds like a Harry Potter spell, and he found this metal which is able to, is it invert? What is do you remember the term they used? Divert?
In Spanish is invert.
Invert. So things kind of go backwards. So like instead of dropping the bullet, you pick it up, but like because you already dropped it, it's kind of freaky. And somehow he makes, using this metal, he is able to time travel, and kind of his future self is able to go back to his past self. And this is like one of the biggest questions of this movie, is how the hell, using like a metal, he is able to time travel. Like,
question. For Christopher.
The future people want to go to the past and eliminate the past.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make any sense, because if you're the future, you need the past to exist. So I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I didn't understand why he. So the main villain is Kenneth Branagh, and he wants he has these like bombs which he creates from this plutonium, and basically if they all connect they will create the end of the world. Basically everyone dies. And he wants to do that because he himself is dying, and he wants to die when like on this big yacht in Thailand or whatever with his family when he was the most happy or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why does he want to end the world? Like, because he's dying, he's like, everyone needs to die with me.
No, it's because the future people want the world to end at that point because of climate change and stuff. They want to start from zero. So they talk to, I don't know how, they contact Andre, the villain, as he's dying, because they know he's dying, and they know he's not gonna mind dying because his cancer has no cure. So they choose him as the guy in charge of ending the world.
Oh.
It's not because he wants to do it, it's because as he's dying and he can't stop it, he doesn't mind ending the world with him. So that's why the future people contact him, and he's in charge of doing that.
But that was so not made clear.
I know, I read it later.
Yeah, because like that makes obviously sense that they pick him to do it. But like, where's the scene of like them talking to him? It's like not made clear at all. It's like he wants to do it for very selfish reasons, and like obviously that makes clear starting. Also, that also doesn't make sense, because if you want to like create nuclear holocaust and or like end the end of the world, well, there needs to be life there already. Like people need to survive, so they're like bunkers or like.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Because if they wanna end the past, the future won't exist because your grandparents and your dads are not gonna be there, so you won't be born.
Yeah, and I feel like they try to like talk about this like you know, the grandfather complex or whatever, and they're like, oh no, you can still exist without your granddad. And I'm like, well, no, you don't, because of the way, like, if you murder everyone in the past, you do not exist in the future, because
that's
there's no way life can be created. So, you know, that is a plot hole. Like, how does that make any sense?
What about when they are inverted? Some people are inverted in the past and others are not.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I had a theory, but the theory is over now because I thought of another thing. So I thought maybe the people who go back in the past and create something that hasn't happened in the future, they don't need to be inverted and they don't have to wear the mask on.
Yeah.
But because when Kat is talking to Andre in the yacht before he murders him, and she's not inverted or anything, so I thought maybe this hasn't happened in the future, so it's something new, and that's why she's not inverted. But then when she jumps off the yacht, that happened already, because she said she saw someone jumping off the yacht. So my theory vanished.
Yeah, that was also one of the bigger things. It was like, so the whole premise is that when you go into the inverted state, you're like, time is backwards, so like birds fly backwards and boats are backwards, and you have to wear like an oxygen mask, otherwise you can't breathe or something, and you also can't meet your future self, your past self, because then you'll die, I think. But there are like, and so that was like a useful tool to like differentiate when people are inverted or not. But they like completely scrapped this idea, because there are several scenes, as what Carmen said, of when they're in the inverted state and they're backwards and they're not wearing masks, and it's like, what's the point of them having masks to begin with? Like, I thought they needed masks to breathe. Like there's scenes where the protagonist, he has to wear a mask and he takes the mask off and he's like, you know, really struggling to breathe. But then like there's another scene where I think he's in the inverted state and he's not wearing a mask and he's breathing fine. So it's kind of confusing, like differentiating when they're backwards or when they're normal and what time this is in. Like it's very confusing. in that regards. But one of the interesting things is when like their future characters interact with their past. So there's this like big fight scene with the protagonist and Neil and the two other guys who are inverted. We can't see their faces, so we don't know who they are. And then we find out later that they were actually them in the future coming back to save Kat because she's been shot. And I thought that was like one of the most like really cool, interesting things in the movie, is that like your past and your future interacting, and it's like, oh my god, that was them. Like we had no idea. And I thought that was really
But
cool.
there are three. Okay, so the protagonist is fighting against himself, inverted, but then the guy Neil chases is also the protagonist. So it's 3 protagonists, no Neil.
No, it's Neil as well.
No.
But I thought the protagonist who fought the protagonist, he then runs a...
No, because Neil is fighting against another person.
I thought Neil was fighting against Neil, and then he sees the protagonist and he lets him go.
No, it's 3 protagonists. Because one runs off because Neil sees his face and he's like, go. And then the other one is the one the protagonist is fighting, that Neil comes and says, don't kill him, we need him alive, because he was going to kill himself. I don't get it, but it's 3 protagonists.
Oh, that's really confusing. What? And we then get to the big climactic end, is when they're trying to stop these bombs. And they have one team, which is the red team, which is the present. And then they have the blue team, which is the future. Or the inverted ones. Mm-hmm. So the blue ones are the ones walking backwards. They're the ones who haven't really done it. And so... Yeah,
so it's themselves who are doing the mission, and then the red team is them doing the mission.
Yeah, but Neil's was in the blue team. He wasn't in the red team.
Which one is the inverted one?
The blue.
Mm-hmm.
But he was not in the red team because he died.
No, he was in the what's the opposite of the inverted? He was in the right. One.
No, he was in the inverted one. He was blue.
No.
Yeah.
No, because he was with the protagonist. And
no, he wasn't. He was with the other guy. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, the other guy. You know, the army guy. No, but they meet later, but like originally they're not together. Like, because Neil is like seeing the bombs like go into the ground, whilst the other guy seeing the bombs come out of the ground.
Yeah, I didn't get it then.
Obviously, there's a lot of fighting because they want to stop the bombs, but and is the Estonian guy called Andre? He has his men, and they're trying to stop them from stopping.
Also, I think Christopher should have specified more who were whom, because I didn't see any differences between the Tenet guys and Andre's guys, because their army suits were the same. It was the same color practically.
Yeah.
I didn't see any difference.
I was wondering where they got all the bombs from, because like I didn't really see that many of Andre's men. Like,
yeah, I thought they were shooting to the floor because I didn't see any other people there. So I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, because it was like in the area, kind of ground zero of when Andre found the bomb. Not the bomb, the plutonium, after the end of the Cold War. And so the red team, led by the protagonist, is seeing everything in motion, so normal, so like bombs exploding, buildings collapsing. But Neil, in the inverted self, is seeing everything come back, so buildings rebuilding and bombs kind of going backwards.
That was super cool.
It was
to see both perspectives, cool. How a building was crashing and then rebuilding. at the same time.
It's like, I don't know how they filmed that, because they're obviously seeing it normal. So like Robert Pattinson's reacting normally, but the bomb's going in, and I'm like, they can't. I swear that they can't film that going in. Like, I'm sure they film it going out and they revert it, but like he is normal. He's not reverting. So it's like really awesome how they did that.
Yes.
And yeah, so they have to stop the bombs, and they do. So they stop the bombs, but there's a lot of questions to how, because Carmen didn't realize that Neil. You didn't realize that Neil died?
I didn't know that was Neil until the ending, when I saw he had the orange tag on his back.
Right.
On his backpack. So that's when I said, that's Neil. But at the beginning, I didn't know who that was. Because they zoomed into the orange tag, I thought, okay, that's gonna be important. But at that moment, I didn't know who that person was. I assumed it was the protagonist, not Neil.
Oh my god, that would be so freaky. Which is
I didn't like Kat. I don't know your thoughts.
Right.
About
yeah.
her.
So Kat is like the only woman really in this movie. Like, really. And her thing is that she obviously is the wife of Andre, who's like abusive, and she wants to kill him. She pushes him off the boat. But she also has a son. She is like I think she's very one-dimensional. I think she is written as like a mother, and that is like the way her dialogue goes. It's very like, I save my son, it's for my son. And I feel like she wasn't given as much, I don't know, as much complexity as like the protagonist. I mean, even Neil's not that complex. I guess the protagonist is the only one who's very like, you see different sides of him. But we haven't even talked about the painting.
Oh yeah. So 1 hour of the movie is about this painting. It's a fake Goya, apparently. So Kat says it's a real one, and she sells it to Andre. And then he discovers that it was a fake. So that's when he starts, what's the name?
Blackmailing
her, because of that problem there. So it makes no sense that for so long you're gonna be blackmailing her because of that painting. Like, who really cares about that?
Yeah.
I mean, she can go to prison, but it's not like she murdered someone and he's keeping it secret. It's just like she blackmailed. I mean, she just didn't see it was a fake. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like that whole plot was like meant for her being like, I'm forced to stay in this marriage because otherwise I won't ever see my son again. And it was like, it was like this tiny little painting. It was really dumb. And I'm like, her husband kills people all the time. So couldn't she have just been like, yeah, my husband like kills people, like, and it didn't make any sense. And then they completely scrapped the painting. They completely scrapped that plot. And I was like, what's the point? Because I've talked about this painting for so long and I was so confused. I don't understand art to begin with. That artist you said, it sounds like a name of a cheese.
No, because they say arepo, but who's arepo? I don't know. And then I read somewhere it was a Goya. Goya is a Spanish painter.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, it's so annoying because I was like, what's this movie about? Is it about a painting? And I didn't know why Priya, she's one woman from India who apparently knows a lot about Tenet.
Yeah.
Because she gets the guns she resells from Andre, apparently, because of the material he creates. What's the name?
Plutonium or something.
Yeah. So what's the connection between them and that painting? And then Kat there, she goes with the protagonist to a restaurant to talk about this painting. I just don't get it. And like
No.
he comes with another painting by Arepo, which is the same painting. She said it was a fake. I don't know. I was so confused.
I think Christopher Nolan made, because he obviously has made complex movies like Interstellar and Inception, but this one is honestly the most confusing movie I've ever watched, and I think he made it too confusing for his own good. I think he was like, I want to be really extra and I want to make the audience be like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? But if your own actors don't know what's going on, and if like we still don't know what's going on, then like I think you needed to make things more simple in certain elements. Like, how do you time travel with a metal? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, because of COVID, many people are going to watch this movie because it's one of the newest ones, not because they really want to watch it.
Oh,
so
100%.
they're going to the cinema and they're like, what is this? So
yeah, I think because like obviously people want to see Christopher Nolan films because he's like probably my favorite director. He's like made amazing movies. But yeah, it's also like this, I bet this movie's going to make so much money. A, because of Christopher Nolan, but B, because like people want to go to the cinema and watch it, and because like it's the only film out. I mean, let's talk about like some overarching kind of like positives. Like for me, I really liked the cinematography, the art direction. I really enjoyed the way the camera like looks at things. Like the inverted thing was very visually effective. I thought the musical score was really good, very tense, and the acting was really good. What about you?
Yeah, I think the same. Also, when I watched the behind the scenes video, and I saw many things. Like they traveled to all of the scenes. Like when they went, it was London. They were in London.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched many Christopher Nolan's movies, so I didn't know that was something he usually does.
Yeah.
But I liked it was in a green screen, and that they went to every place, and that the airplane crash was a real
that was really cool. That was really cool.
And then the actors were like, it was real. In the interview. So I liked all of that, and that's why after watching the movie I appreciated more, because I didn't know all of that.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I really liked all of the cinematography. I think it's a really good movie. Yeah. If the plot was kind of easier, it would be a 10 out of 10, but
yeah. What would you give it as a rating out of 10?
I think I would give it a 7.5.
Right.
I don't know, because I liked it, all of like the images and the scenes and the acting, but then the plot is very confusing, and I don't think I would watch this movie many times.
Right. Yeah.
And you?
I think when I was watching it, I was like, I'd give it a 7. Then after I watched it, I was like, I'll give it an 8. But now I think I'll give it a 7 again. It's definitely not Christopher Nolan's best movie, but it was like visually stunning and it was really different. Like it wasn't something we'd seen before, but it had so many questions, which I don't think they needed that many questions. Like you can make a complex movie, but your audience can still understand what's going on at the very end, you know, when everything ties back together, and you'll be like, oh wow. But this, it was like, it was like,
yeah, it was even worse.
Yeah, it was. You had even more questions at the very end, and like the whole like I don't think I was very effective. I also think the writing could have been better, and also I didn't understand some of the accents, so you know they needed to make that more clear. So yeah, I think I'd give this movie a 7. I definitely want to rewatch it, but
me too. I'm looking forward to it. I want to watch it again.
I'm not gonna pay to see it at the cinema again. Like I've already like been overpriced. Like I paid for an overpriced cinema ticket already. I'm not gonna watch it. I'll watch it like when someone puts on Put Locker. Right. So Carmen, thank you for joining me on this GVU.
Of course. Can I say one of the theories that was really funny?
Yeah.
I read someone said they were wizards.
Honestly, yeah.
And that with technology, they were hiding the magic.
Well, Petronium sounds like a spell, so I mean, I could be saying this metal completely wrong. It could be I could be making this up. But
Patronium.
honestly,
It's like a spectrum patronum.
yeah, Expecto Patronum. Oh my god, yeah, that's why it's so familiar. Oh my god, this is actually like the third Fantastic Beasts movie. It's
No, that's an insult. I hate Fantastic Beasts.
yes, so do I.
Dear viewers, I love you all. I hope to see you soon before 2020 ends in another G-View.
Yeah, thanks Carmen for joining the G-View. It's always great to have a chit chat about especially these more complex movies. Yeah, so thanks for joining for the video.
Well, anyway, guys, I hope you liked that G-View on Tenet. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Make sure to watch my latest G-View, which I will put in the description box below. And comment down below if you have any other TV or movies you want me to review or look at. I will make sure to check them out. Also linked are my Twitter and my Instagram, which is tagged in my YouTube handle, so you can go on there. They are great places. And I hope you are staying safe, and I will see you soon.